All right, today we are cracking the code on what might just be the most anticipated film in the world right now. I mean, after SS Rajamouli gave us the Oscar-winning epic RRR, the expectations for whatever he does next are, well, they're through the roof. But what if I told you one fan theorist thinks he's already figured out the entire plot? Yeah, let's get into it.
I mean, seriously, think about it. After a movie like RRR that just conquered the entire globe and won an Oscar, everyone is asking the same thing. How do you top that? What could the visionary director SS Rajamouli possibly do for an encore? The pressure, it's just astronomical, right?
Okay, so let's dive right in. There's this one fan analyst, he goes by Raggedy Reviews, who believes he's actually pieced together the entire blueprint for Rajamouli's next big movie, which has the working title Globetrotter. And this isn't just some wild guess. He's laid out a super detailed case, and we're going to walk through it piece by piece.
So how do you even begin to predict what a master storyteller is going to do next? Well, you've got to look at his MO, right? You look at the past, and that's exactly where our theorist starts. He's identified this really clear, almost intentional pattern in Rajamouli's latest films. The whole theory kicks off with this simple, but honestly pretty powerful observation. Think back to Bahubali. That story was all about a great man, a single heroic king fighting for his own kingdom and his destiny. But then, with RRR, the theme just blew up. It escalated from one man to a great nation, with two heroes fighting for a cause way, way bigger than just themselves.
So, you see the pattern, right? This progression leads to a really interesting question. If you've already told the ultimate story of a great man, and then you've told the ultimate story of a great nation, what's next? What could possibly be bigger? Where do you even go from there?
Well, the only logical next step is the whole world, the entire globe. The story has to go universal. And this, as our theorist points out, lines up perfectly with the movie's working title, Globetrotter. It's a natural evolution of his themes. It just makes sense.
Okay, so now that we have our core theme, it's global, our fan detective, who hilariously calls himself Sherlock Sampath, starts digging into the actual clues. The official stuff the film's team has released. He wants to see if the evidence backs up his theory. So let's put on our detective hats and look at what he found.
First up, clue number 1. The villain. This is the first piece of the puzzle. It's the poster revealing the film's antagonist, a character named Kumba, who's going to be played by the incredible Prithviraj Sukumaran.
So if you look a little closer at the details here, you see he's in this futuristic-looking wheelchair. And that's kind of a classic visual, right? It often signals a villain who's obsessed with overcoming his physical limits. But the real key, the most important clue, according to this theory, is his name, Kumba.
And here's where it gets brilliant. Kumbha in Sanskrit means pot, but not just any pot. In mythology, it's the name of the vessel that held Amrita, the nectar of immortality. So boom, this isn't just some generic bad guy looking for power. He's on a very specific, ancient, mythological quest for eternal life itself.
All right, on to clue number 2. The heroine. Let's take a look at the poster for Mandakini, who's set to be played by the one and only Priyanka Chopra.
Okay, this image is it's jam-packed with symbolism. First, just look at her pose. She's touching both the sky and the earth. Then there's the color of her sari, that specific yellow which is tied to the goddess Gauri. And oh yeah, she's holding a gun. She is clearly a warrior, ready for a fight.
And just like we saw with the villain, her name is the absolute key. Mandakini is another name for the celestial river Ganges. In mythology, the Ganges is literally the bridge connecting heaven and earth, gods and mortals. So the theory goes, she's not just a warrior, she's a divine warrior, a bridge between worlds with this deep spiritual connection to the god Shiva.
Now for the final piece of the puzzle, and this one is maybe the most subtle of all. It comes from the lyrics of a promo song for the movie. Our theorist believes there's a single word hidden in here that unlocks the hero's entire role in this story.
The line in the song goes something like, crossing continents, descending as a Kagaraju. Now, crossing continents, okay, that's pretty on the nose for a movie called Globetrotter, right? But it's that last word, Kagaraju. That's the one that made our theorists' ears perk up.
So why is that word so important? Well, a Kagaraju isn't just any old protector. It's a very specific kind of village guardian deity, a figure who stands at the boundaries to ward off evil and, this is crucial, to ward off widespread diseases, like a plague, or a pandemic. And just like that, the hero's role in this global story becomes crystal clear.
Okay, so now we've got all our puzzle pieces laid out on the table. Let's see how Sherlock Sampath puts them all together to form one single epic story. So, let's recap. We have our villain, Kumba, who's hunting for the secret to immortality. We have our divine warrior, Mandakini, who's there to help our hero. And finally, we have the hero himself, a globe-trotting adventurer who is destined to become a Khaga-Raju, a guardian for the entire world.
And so, based on this trail of clues, this breadcrumb trail of evidence, here it is, the full, predicted plot for SS Rajamouli's Globetrotter. Get this. The villain, Kumba, unleashes a global pandemic. Why? To basically hold the world hostage until they help him find the nectar of immortality. So our hero, this globe-trotting adventurer, has to step up and become the Khaga-Raju, the protector he was meant to be. He teams up with the divine warrior Mandakini, and they have to race across the globe to stop him. Their mission? Save all of humanity by keeping this nectar out of the wrong hands. It's basically an ancient myth crashing headfirst into a modern-day thriller. So cool.
Now, let's be super clear. The theorist himself says this is all just a fun exercise in deduction. This is not some insider leak, okay? It's a case he built purely from clues that are out there for everyone to see, which means the final judgment is up to us.
And that leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? Is this a truly brilliant prediction? Has this fan actually cracked the code on what a master like Rajamouli is planning? Or is it just a really, really passionate, incredibly well-thought-out fan theory? You know, in the end, whether this theory turns out to be 100% right or completely wrong, it almost doesn't matter. What it really shows is the incredible passion and the deep analytical thinking that a great storyteller like SS Rajamouli inspires in people. In a way, the story has already started right here, in all of our imaginations. And that's a special kind of magic, isn't it? I guess only time will tell if this fan's incredible deduction becomes reality on the big screen.